Hey everyone, welcome to the Ang.ey Living Life podcast. Today I have a special guest with me. Her name is Ang. She goes by Ang.ey on Instagram. Welcome to the show, Ang.
Hey there, Al. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, you're most welcome. I'm glad you're willing to join me. Actually, I love your photos. Like your photos have always blown my mind. So good for you on that.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. No, I spent a lot of time on them, so it's something that I'm really proud of.
Yeah, so just a little history about Ange and I. We both kind of started Instagram around the same time, right? I
hmm
think it's about 2.5 years now, I'd say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2018. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. I think I started in April, and by the looks of it, you started in May. And first thing I noticed, like I followed Ange right away after she started, and we've kind of just followed each other and liked each other's photos, supported each other in certain ways, and I always looked at her stuff and I was like, holy smokes, like she's just killing this game. She hit thousands of likes, like just in no time. And I was looking at her like in envy, but also I definitely looked up to her as an Instagrammer. And the funny thing is, we actually bumped into each other one day and then I was like, hey, so we ended up having coffee and I asked her about Instagram and how she's doing it, how she's getting it like done like that. She's always getting featured. But then I remember you and this thing still sticks to my mind to this day, where you told me that don't be fooled by getting featured because it doesn't really gain you that many followers. And as I got featured at times, I realized that too. So you're definitely right about that. What do you think about that stuff? Has it changed or?
I think when it comes to features, it really depends on the audience of that feature page. Because a lot of times when I was getting featured on, let's just say, a few of the accounts that are local,
Hmm.
I already have those people following me. I mean, I'll get a few new followers, but I didn't feel like it was actually giving me a lot of followers. I think the main source of the followers were probably coming from hashtags,
Hmm.
or if somebody was following me, maybe the algorithm would suggest one of their followers to follow me. So I found that I couldn't really pinpoint as to where they were coming from, but I really noticed like when it came to feature pages, I wasn't getting like a lot more
Yeah.
followers that way.
Yeah, I noticed the same thing. And honestly, after a while, I kind of stopped tagging them. Like, I would use the hashtags, but I would stop tagging them because realistically, when I did tag them and if I did get featured, I didn't get a whole lot, like you say, right? And I noticed that it was just that much more work just to put them up or whatever. And I'm like, what am I doing this for? Like, really? I kind of always wondered. I always picked up my followers from either one of my followers, or from comments or whatever like that. That's what I've noticed when I was gaining my followers. Did you
Yeah,
notice something similar to that, or?
I did. And another thing too, I guess it really depends on the type of feature page, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I've had my photos featured on some pages that had a lot of followers,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, I'll get some people from around the world, but really, yeah, like I said, I think it really comes from either hashtags or even commenting on other people's photos. And I mean, it's really hard to say where they come from, but I
Yeah.
think I've seen more traction coming from like the hashtags.
Yeah. So when I actually interviewed M on my show, and she's like the feature. I nickname her the feature. It's like she's featured everywhere, and
Her folders are amazing though, I have to
yeah,
say. So
yeah,
you can
they
see
are.
why.
But it's so funny because I was talking to her and she goes, "Yeah, I do get some followers from features and that's where she gets most of her followers from. But it helps that she's featured on like 20 different features for one picture. I'm like, she's just totally killing that game out there." But I want my listeners to. I'm going to post this on YouTube, so you guys are going to see how amazing Andrew's shots are. Let's talk about your first shot that I'm going to talk about here, and that's Olympic Peninsula in Washington. Your second most recent post. I love that shot. I love the haze. I love the little bit of a sun going on there. Yeah, like explain the picture to me a little bit.
Yeah, of course. So actually that was taken last year when I went to the Olympic Peninsula. So this is pre-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually consider myself an okay photographer. So when this photo was taken, it looked really flat. It was actually a bit of a cloudy day.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't very much sun. So I actually edited the hell out of that photo.
Don't we
Um,
all?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So actually what I did was that, okay, I saw a little bit of sun in the photo, but I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna enhance this. So I
Yeah.
actually added that a little, I added a bit more sun rays.
Mm-hmm.
I added some more shadows just to give an illusion of a sunnier day.
Yeah.
But, to be honest, it was actually more of a cloudy day. There was a bit of sun, and even in real life, it actually looked kind of flat. Like,
Okay.
I'm not sure if you've seen like in the landscape in real life, but sometimes it looks almost like two-dimensional just
Yeah.
because of the distance and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I just want to add a bit more depth to the photo just by editing it a bit more. But it was an amazing place. Like, I mean, I would definitely recommend going to the Olympic Peninsula. It's beautiful there, and photos don't do it justice.
Yeah. I just noticed the branches in the front. Like I love posting my pictures like that too. Like I want branches surrounding it to give it a little bit of greenery and to kind
Mhm.
of center the photo that way. And I think this is done like amazingly. So whether you edit or not, like I'm going to tell you guys all right now, Ange is probably the best Photoshop person I know.
Thank you.
Just by looking at your pictures, okay? Like I can tell that you got a lot of skills, but some of these aren't like this Olympic Peninsula one. I'm sure you didn't take too much time on that, but like you said, you did edit it to hell, right? And I think we all have to adjust our pictures in some shape or form just to be
Yeah.
on there. Yeah.
Well, I like to do little things here and there that kind of add a little bit to the photos. So I've been following some tutorials and just looking at how other photographers edit their photos. And what I notice about how other photographers and good photographers edit their photos is that they actually add or remove certain elements of a photo that you don't actually think about.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, in my photo here, I actually didn't have a lot of branches or leaves framing the shot.
Mm-hmm.
So, what you're seeing in that shot is that I've actually added quite a bit more branches there,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that kind of gave it a better effect. But really, like if you look at the before photo, which I'm kind of embarrassed to post, you're not going to see that many branches there. And
Yeah.
I find that adding that frame really adds quite a bit, even though it didn't take a lot.
Yeah.
It's easy to add that in Photoshop.
Well, no, you still did it well. So you gave it. Yeah, it looks really nice, I think. Then you got a moraine lake. I think that's how you call it. Did I say it right?
Oh,
Moraine
and
Lake.
Maureen Lake, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and that was you posted that on July 27th. Your third picture in that is like postcard worthy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, like that's a great shot. Yeah, you can talk a little bit about that too. Was that on a hike or?
Yeah, so Moraine Lake is actually literally like right by a parking lot, so it didn't really take much of a hike to get there.
Okay. Yeah, I've
But
never been. I got to get my ass there too. So.
oh, I totally recommend it. But
Yeah.
when I went there, it was late afternoon. Actually, it was towards the evening, so everybody was starting to leave, and because it was during a time where not a lot of people were going out because of COVID, there
Yeah.
wasn't actually a lot of tourists that were kind of in the shot. So one of the things that I wanted to do on the shot was to kind of make it look like there's nobody there, but also add a more surreal touch to it.
Mm-hmm.
Really, when I was there, and I have a story of it on my Instagram, but
Yep.
when I was there, it was actually kind of like, there wasn't much light. I mean, it was a cloudy day, and it was really towards the end of the day. So what I did with this photo was that I actually added like a sunset. I wanted to add, a bit of a glow
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of give it a more surreal touch to it. Because I mean, I've seen so many different photos of Moraine
Yeah.
Lake, and I wanted to kind of add my sort of touch to that photo.
No, it's a great shot, and great edits again.
Thank
If
you.
once we talk about photoshopping, here's a couple more that these two are absolutely my favorite. You have one of a goldfish in the middle of a forest, and I
Yeah.
think it's awesome. Like this was posted on August 23rd of 2019, and you obviously have hundred something likes. I mean, thousands of likes and hundred something comments on that. And this is an Instagrammer that has only 2,709 followers at the moment. And trust me when I say this, that if she kept up with their game, she would have been way ahead of me. She's been really busy, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like if I think if you stayed on it like as much as I did, I think you would have blown me out of the water. So stuff like this, the goldfish in the forest, like great idea, great artistic flair to this. Yeah, you can go ahead and speak about that picture.
Yeah. Well, that photo was actually taken on one of my hikes. not the goldfish, but
Yeah.
the woods was taken on a hike that I went on with my friends in Port Moody, and
Yep.
I thought that it looks really surreal here. There's a bit of fog, so I decided to just take that photo, and it wasn't anything special. It was just trees.
Yes.
But then I decided, oh, I want to make something, I guess, a little bit more creepy, and I wanted to kind of add a little, something interesting in there. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll just throw a goldfish in there. And then there is a girl. I saw a picture of a girl, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna put her in there too. It's just
Yeah.
I don't really have a plan when it comes to my photos. I really just kind of grab a bunch of different elements
Yeah.
from other photos, and I just kind of superimpose them into one of my existing photos.
Now, how long did
So
that take you?
this one took about 2 hours, I
Yeah.
think. And the reason why I think it takes a long time for me is that I'm really new to Photoshop.
Hmm.
So back in 2018, I was actually taking photos on my cell phone because I didn't know how to edit photos or anything like that.
Hmm.
And then I pretty much learned Photoshop on the fly. I didn't take any formal training or anything like that. So anything I learned on Photoshop was through tutorials on YouTube.
Okay. Same here.
So yeah, so if there's certain things I want to do in Photoshop, I actually look it up and try to learn how to do each thing on YouTube.
Step
So
by
for
step
example,
and
yeah,
pausing.
exactly, step by
Yeah.
step and pausing. So that was how I kind of learned how to do Photoshop. So in this photo here, it's basically me learning the process of how to use Photoshop at the same time.
Yeah, it's an amazing shot. When I saw it, I was like, "Oh, look, she's up in her game again." So I
Thank
was
you.
like, with the just a goldfish picture, the picture would have been dull. Just a girl, it would have been dull. Just the forest would have been dull. But you put the three together, and it looks amazing. So good for you for that.
Thank you.
Then my absolute favorite shot is your Vancouver Public Library. You made it look like a jungle, and that was posted on March 28th of 2019. And when I saw this picture, I was like, this girl has got like lots of skills, and I, there's so much admiration for you, and so much praise for you that I can't speak enough about your skills. So good for you on that.
Oh, thank
How long did that take you?
This one surprisingly didn't take me very long. So
Okay.
I would say this one actually probably took me under an hour.
Wow.
Um, the reason being was that and it actually didn't take a lot for me to add on to that photo. Like for example, I had the picture of the library that I took,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was another photo that I found online of just leaves. So I
Okay.
thought, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna stick the library there, and then that was it. It was just a bit of editing, making sure that the light matched and all that.
Yeah.
But that one, like from what I recall, didn't take very long, to be honest. Really, it was all the other photos that took a lot longer.
And did this picture get featured, or did Vancouver Public Library reach out to you, or anything like that?
Yeah, they did actually. So the Vancouver Public Library reached out and said, "Hey, can we feature this photo?" But this photo has actually been featured on quite a number of different feature pages.
Mm-hmm.
And that was where I kind of got a lot of momentum. I had more followers,
Yep.
and this is probably the one photo that had the most likes. Definitely one of the photos I'm really proud of.
Yeah, no, good for you. When I saw that, I was like, wow, that's so nice, right? Captured it to like the concrete jungle. Like, I mean, that it looks like it's like coming out of Jurassic Park, or it's been, we've been in some kind of I don't know, in
Like
hiding or
apocalypse.
something, apocalypse thing or something, right? I thought that was really cool. You have got another one here with the girl floating up, and you using one of those color bombs in the umbrella.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Actually, that was
that
a really
was
fun shoot.
that was a Halloween shot. Looks like
It
it was
was
on
actually.
October 31st in 2018. That's a pretty cool shot too.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm gonna be honest, it's like not my favorite shot, but I
Yeah.
think the reason why I love it so much is because the memory behind taking that shot.
Oh, okay.
So really it was me and a bunch of other photographers, local photographers, who decided to get together, and we wanted to do a Halloween special.
Okay.
So we had like probably like, seven or eight of us who
Yeah.
got together, and then we met up at a park, and I had this vision of what I wanted to do for the shot. So I actually had one of my friends who helped Photoshop the girl,
Okay.
because I at the time I didn't know how to use Photoshop at all.
Okay.
So I told him like I want to have her flowing up and all that, and he had a few, his own input on what he wanted the shot to look like too. So really, it was more of a collaboration on
Okay.
that shot.
Okay.
So we were all given I guess, the unedited shot of her floating up there,
Yeah.
and then we were allowed to edit the photo any way we wanted to. So, yeah, it was really a good collaboration in that regard. It was like one of the very few photos I've ever had where I've actually worked with other photographers to put that vision together.
Yeah, I know there's a couple of those collabs out there, right? And I think I was
Mhm.
invited to a couple, but I never showed up. Or,
Oh
but I'm
no.
not. I don't think I'm that good, so I don't
Well,
think
if
I
you
can
actually showed up,
compare.
you never know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's true. Yeah, I recall. We both had a mutual follower by the name of Len. It looks like he's out of the game now. You did some modeling for him too, right? You did a couple of shots that you did there, and those were
Yeah, I
nice
did.
too.
Thank you. No, I actually met with Len not too long ago. He's just been busy with school, so he hasn't been putting a lot of focus on Instagram.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was actually quite interesting because him and I don't know how we met, but we just kind of came across each other's accounts on Instagram.
yeah,
And then he was just starting out on photography. So
yeah. He's pretty good.
he, yeah, I know he's awesome. So he reached out to me. He's like, okay, I'm just starting out, let's do a collaboration,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
I told him like I'm not into modeling or anything like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
but
yeah,
he just wanted someone to kind of be there for him and just kind of, you know, help him build his skill, right?
yeah.
And when he reached out to me to do that gig, I was like, okay, fine, we'll do that shot, and then it turned out really well. I think it was really fun, and he's such a great guy. I
Yeah.
think he's so talented. He
Yep.
he learned really quickly, and he spends a lot of time on his photos as well.
Yeah, he does. Like yeah, I really liked him because one thing is his engagement was strong too, right? So, is he was always commenting on my photos and vice versa, and we were always like chatting through messages and stuff like that. He seemed like a really good guy. Yeah. So you're selling your photos now, or
I wasn't actually officially selling them, so I haven't put up an official link or
mm-hmm.
had a website for them. But I did have a cafe reach out to me a little while ago, and they had offered to put my photos up, and
Yeah, I
then
saw that. That's good.
yeah, and it was such a great opportunity. So I had my photos there, and then they said, okay, you can sell your photos. And then they actually allowed me to hold an exhibition.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
it was like a socially distanced exhibition. And
Yeah.
yeah, and then and that's where I kind of got a bit of exposure. Had, friends and family come by
Mm-hmm.
and just see what I had there. So it was a really great experience because it was really the first time I sold my artwork.
Oh, okay. So how'd you
Yeah.
do? Did you do well or?
Yeah, I think I sold pretty much everything. So
Holy
I had
smokes!
like two prints left.
Nice.
But yeah, no, it's been great. And then, I had some people that actually came by and purchased a few prints actually.
Yeah.
So it was quite encouraging. But yeah, I'll probably look into doing that later on, and maybe I'll probably do some more prints, but we'll see. I just had to kind of look at what the demand is like.
Yeah, it looks like you have to jump onto Etsy or something like that because I think you can start making some coin off there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that I noticed about your account, and I've always noticed this, the one thing that's really cool about you is you poke fun at yourself. And you do you do those like chin things or you do those funny face things, and that always cracks me up. And I'm like, oh, geez, there's Ange again. But anyways, no, good for you. No, keep up the good work. I know you're kind of been off and on this game, and just in talking to you before this, you were saying that you're going to be coming back on, and I look forward to seeing all your photos and you coming and building your followers up like that in no time. I think. Are there any tips that you can provide, like the listeners or my followers or your followers, how to really build up your followers or what to do in photos and stuff like that? Is there any kind of tips that you'd like to give out to the people?
I guess it depends what you're looking for. So when it comes to, engagement and, gaining followers and having people reach out to you, what really helped for me was doing that personalized engagement. So I would
Mm-hmm.
leave comments on other people's photos, but what I try to do is not only just, leave just any generic comment, but
Yeah.
really comment if someone had spent a lot of time on that photo, like for example, myself, I know myself, I spent 2 hours on this photo.
Yeah,
And nothing pleases me more if somebody actually reaches out and tells me what they like about the photo,
that's
right?
right.
So I try to keep that in the back of my mind when I see someone else posting a really nice photo and I know that they spent that time and heart into that photo.
Hmm.
So I try to, you know, extend that appreciation through the comments. So although it's very time consuming, I spent a lot of time trying to create personalized comments that's directed specifically for their photo, right? So
Yeah.
that's one of the things. In terms of like tips and tricks on photography, what really helped me with, you know, trying to learn how to edit was through YouTube and
Hmm.
any of the free resources, and also reaching out to some of the local photographers who have helped me and provide me some with some really great tricks, right?
Yeah.
So,
I always say the same thing. It's always engagement, 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 right? And
mhm,
that's how you build. Without the engagement, people are not just, you got to feel connected in some way, and without, you gotta kind of share the reciprocate the likes, right? Like, I'm not going to follow somebody that I don't really care for their pictures. That's just where I am right now, because I think after you get up to 7,500, you can't follow anymore. So right now, I'm very particular in the people I follow. It has to be something that it's either I like their photos or we have similar interest or something like that. But you're right, engagement is the key to building. I can agree with you more there. Just want to say, if you're not following Ange, give her a follow. She's got, like I said, mad skills in this stuff. I'm going to be posting a lot of her pictures on YouTube throughout our conversation. She goes by the name of Ang.ey. That's ANG.ey on Instagram. Please give her a follow. Yeah, and also please, if you can show some support for me as well, if you can hit like or subscribe on YouTube and or on the Podbean, be much appreciated. And that's it. Thanks. I'll catch you next week.